Well, it's Friday night, a little later than normal. I apologize for that. Welcome to Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. And as always, thanks for watching or listening. You don't know how much I appreciate it. And if you haven't done so yet, please, folks, get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe button. It's very important to me. Thank you so much. It's been a hectic day for me. I don't know. Seems like for me now there aren't enough hours in the day. I'm just running around all day trying to get everything done. And I know what you're thinking. What do I have to accomplish? A lot of trivial stuff that just seems to add up during the anyway. So here we are doing a show a little later than normal. I apologize for that. We got quite a bit to get to, and very little time to do it to cram in here, and I'll try to do my best in the next 15 to 20 minutes. We might have to run over a little bit. So please bear with me. Get you caught up on what's transpired here in the last few days. Let's start with college basketball. Michigan State back home off a disappointing West Coast trip where they lost to both USC and UCLA. Tied for second place right now with their in-state rival Michigan Wolverines, both at 9-2. State is, I believe, 18-4 overall. Play tomorrow. I think it's a noontime start at the Breslin. They're playing Oregon, who just lost to Michigan the other night. Obviously, we do the same thing when we're out there. If you're going out west, you're going to play both USC and UCLA while you're still out there. Oregon's doing the same thing. As long as they're here playing Michigan, a couple of days later, they're going to play Michigan State. So, as I said, I think the Spartans are 18-4 overall, tied for second with Michigan in the Big Ten standings at 9-2, a half a game behind Purdue, which is 10-2. Michigan also plays tomorrow afternoon. They will be at Indiana. Michigan is also 9-2 in the Big Ten, tied with the Spartans. I think Michigan is 17-5 overall. I see Purdue is ranked 7th now. So Michigan does play at Indiana tomorrow. Then I believe on Tuesday night they've got an encore match at Chrysler Arena against Purdue. As you know, last time they were Purdue a couple of weeks ago, the Boilermakers mopped the floor with them. So we'll see if they can get revenge on Tuesday night. First things first, they got to win at Indiana tomorrow. Michigan State and Michigan hockey will be playing each other this weekend. Tonight, I think they're playing at Mud Ice Arena. I think tomorrow night they'll actually be playing at Little Caesars Arena. So it's really a doubleheader of hockey tomorrow at Little Caesars. You've got the Wings and the Lightning tomorrow afternoon, and then a few hours after that, tomorrow night, you've got Michigan and Michigan State going at it. Of course, Michigan State might have the best hockey team in the nation right now. They're that good. So, as far as the Pistons are concerned, hang on here. They're at home playing the Sixers tonight. Trying to get back to 500. They're 25-26. Their last two losses have been gut punchers. Losing on almost half-court shots as time expired. And now, I try to monitor the sports scene and situation all day. And I got my ear to the grind for any late-breaking news or developments regarding any of the sports teams in Detroit, or either Michigan or Michigan State. I was listening to the flagship station, The Ticket, all day today. Of course, they give updates every hour. They pride themselves in keeping you up to date on the latest, what's going on. Just before the game tonight, it's announced that Cade Cunningham will not play. That was a surprise to me. I didn't hear. I had the flagship station on all day. I didn't hear anything. So I did a little digging into that. Dude's got a sprained ankle. Why was there nothing? Look, Bickerstaff was on yesterday morning, was on talking with Jim Costa and John Jansen. They must have spoke for 15 or 20 minutes. Nobody said anything about Cade Cunningham. I heard tonight before the game he's not playing. Come to find out, the dude's got a sprained ankle. So how long is he going to be out? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? So now there's no Ivy and there's no Cunningham. They were doing okay without Ivy, and they just made this deal to bring Dennis Schroeder in. Without Cade, I don't know how long he's going to be out, but if he's got a sprained ankle, without him, you're not even making a playoff game or play-in game, rather. Let alone just simply make the playoffs. No way. I thought Schroeder was a nice pickup. He's 6'1". He's his expertise, you might say, is dribbling down the lane and kicking it out, passing it off. He's been with the Pistons will be his 9th NBA team. And yesterday, I know it's maybe a little hard to fathom. Yesterday, he must have broken a record, some sort of a record. He was with 4 different teams in one day. He got up yesterday morning. He was a member of the Golden State Warriors. He ended the day as a Detroit Piston, but in between, there were stops in Miami and Utah. So he went from Golden State in the morning, traded to Miami. That's the second team. Traded back out west to Utah, his third team. By the end of the day, he was back here in the Midwest as a member of the Pistons. There's got to be some kind of a record. 4 different teams in a span of what? 12 hours? 10 hours? Anyway, he's a Piston. I think he'll help. I was going to have a lot of nice things to say about Dennis Schroeder on the show and how I like this piece. He gives them a ball handler now. And this news about Cunningham caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared for it. Why didn't we hear anything sooner about this? Really? At the end of the Cleveland game, you didn't hear anything about it. He seemed fine. He made those, 6 free throws to tie the game, in which we thought it was going to go to overtime. They lose on a last-second shot from the center court logo. But nothing. Somebody dropped the ball here somewhere, unless he simply didn't say anything about it. But, to me, that's the one knock on Cade Cunningham. The dude just can't stay healthy. At some point during the year, no matter what he's doing, he's had a great year. He's going to be an all-star. He's not going to be in the all-star game now. And like a sprained ankle, who knows? Everybody heals differently. Is it a high ankle sprain? That'd be even worse. I don't know. But without him, and certainly without Ivy, and certainly not without Cunningham, you're not even making a play-in game. So, anyway, they can beat Philadelphia tonight. Last I looked, they had a 15-point lead. Sixers aren't very good. They're just simply not. They get back to 500. Red Wings, 1 point out of third, 1 point behind third place. Lightning, who they're playing tomorrow afternoon, they're 28, 21, and 5, 61 points, just 1 point behind third place Tampa. So if they can win tomorrow, beat the Lightning, they'd be in third place, or at least tied for third with 63 points. And that'd be a great way to end the first half. You certainly hate to lose tomorrow and then have to wait 2 weeks to play again, because that's the situation we're in right now. If you don't know, I've spoken about this before. Been telling you about it the last few broadcasts. After tomorrow, the NHL will be on a 2-week hiatus. And I don't know who thought of this. Instead of the All-Star game, a 4-team international tournament involving the United States, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. 2 weeks. NHL players will join their respective countries. Like I said, USA, Canada, Sweden, and Finland. They will be a part of a team for their respective country, and it's a 4-team tournament. I don't know why just 4 teams involved. I don't know why it takes 4 weeks. We played at 2 different venues, Montreal and Boston. I don't know whose brainchild this was, but and that'd be a shame if the Pistons win. Pistons. If the Red Wings win tomorrow, that will be their 8th consecutive win. And to have to shut it down for 2 weeks after that, I think it stinks. Literally. A good thing is if they win tomorrow, they know they go to the break. They're definitely a playoff team, not a wild card team either. They'll be in 3rd place in the Atlantic Division, and they go to the break on an 8-game winning streak, and to have to shut it down for 2 weeks, I think it stinks. Yeah, and now you know what I think about it. Spend a couple of minutes here on the Tigers before we shift into football, Super Bowl weekend, and I'll give you my prediction. Who I think is going to win on Sunday. Scott Harris. After Jack Flaherty passed his physical today, Scott Harris held court, met the press, had a few things to say, and he was asked if the Tigers are still seeking a bat, and he simply smiled and gave what he called an evergreen answer. And I'm quoting him now. We're always looking to make our team better. There's still a lot of free agents out there, and there's still a lot of trade conversations. So I don't know if we're definitely going to be able to add, but we're looking to add. Now, as you know, the Tigers have been linked to Alex Bregman. What is this Alex Bregman watch? Day number 103 of the Alex Bregman watch? That's another thing. Look, if I were the Tigers, I would tell Scott Harris, you're pulling your offer, whatever that is, off the table. Either that or give them a deadline where they have to know something. They have to have an answer. Bregman is letting Scott Boras do all his talking. We haven't heard a peep out of him the whole time. Scott Harris. Too many Scotts involved here. Scott Boras told Bob Nightingale of USA Today earlier in the week they're not going to do with Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso came back and he was looking for a long-term lucrative deal too. And he ended up swallowing his pride and took what amounts to is a 1-year deal with the Mets. I think the first year might be front loaded. He's got an option for the second year. Anyway, he's back with the New York Mets. I have a hunch and I have a feeling you think Scott Boras and Alex Bregman aren't regretting taking the initial offer they got from the Astros? Possible. Like I said, if I were the Tigers, I'd give them a or get off the pot date. March 10th, St. Patty's Day, whatever it might be, and you move on. If I were them, I'd take the offer off, whatever it is, I'd take the offer off the table right now. I pretty much had it with Alex Bregman and Scott Boras wanting $200 million for 7 years. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It just isn't. So right now, the consensus is if they don't get Bregman, your starting third baseman on opening day will probably be Chase Young. Unless there's a left-hander pitching for the opposition. In that case, you're looking at Matt Vierling at third base. So we'll see. This drags on and on. I did want to add one more thing before we do our commercial here. There's a writer for Bleacher Report by the name of Kerry Miller, a Bleacher Report. According to him, the Tigers could very well land another bullpen arm, namely a closer who you're all familiar with, Kenley Jansen, 32-year-old Kenley Jansen, who pitched for the Red Sox last year. He had a decent ERA of 3.9 with 27 saves. He's 37 years old. I think if he came to the Tigers, he would probably be the designated closer. I know A.J. Hinch doesn't really particularly like anointing any one pitcher his closer. He's never done that. He might do it with Kenley Jansen, though. Jansen's This is his thing, coming into the ninth inning and closing out games. Even at his age, he had a decent season last year with the Red Sox. Like I said, he had that 3.29 ERA with 27 saves, and that's pretty darn good. You know, I think if they could bring him in, I think that'd be that would be at least 6 pitchers in your bullpen, maybe 7 if you count Brant Herter. So right now, looking at that bullpen, what do we have here? We have Jason Foley and Bo Brisky. I think of that for a minute. Jason Foley, Bo Brisky, Will Vest. Who am I leaving out here? The new guy, Tommy Canley, and Tyler Holton, and Kenley Jansen. Am I leaving anybody out? I think we've covered everybody. Will Vest, Bo Brisky. So that gives you six solid pitchers coming out of that bullpen. Even Brant Herter could be a 6th or 7th guy in there. He pitched. By the way, he's still eligible if he comes back. He's still eligible to be a rookie this year. So I have seen his name listed at a possible winning the Rookie of the Year award. But he did pitch 5 scoreless innings in the playoffs last year. He's a big guy. 6'6", 6'5" or 6'6", left-hander. But so that's basically the bullpen you're looking at. Again, Tyler Holton and Bo Brisky and Will Vest and Jason Foley, and then Tommy Canley, the new guy. And if they were to sign Kenley Jansen, that's 6. Brant Herter, 7. There's your bullpen right there, more than likely. Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow morning with Andy if we have the time. Speaking of time, I got to get going here and give you, talk a little bit about Frank Beck Chevrolet, my great sponsor right now. Frank Beck Chevrolet is thanking loyal Chevy owners with big savings during Chevy Loyalty Month now through March the 3rd. Loyal Chevy owners can save an extra $1,000 on brand new 2025 Blazers, Colorados, Trailblazers, and Silverado HD models, plus 1.9% financing available on all select models. Beck's also has a great selection of late model pre-owned vehicles at fantastic prices. Check out their entire inventory on their webpage at frankbeckchevy.com, or better yet, stop by the dealership and see them on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. And there's a very special event coming up. I want you to put a big circle on your calendar, put it in your telephone, put it in your phones, or whatever. But Saturday, April the 12th. Again, like I just put that on their calendars. That's Frank Beck's annual Maggie Fry Scholarship Breakfast. This year's event will run from 8 to 11 a.m. in the showroom. And will feature yours truly and Andy out there. We will be doing our show from the showroom that morning of Saturday, April the 12th. So you've got enough time to clear your calendars, because we want to see you out there at this very special, worthwhile event. Once again, Saturday, April the 12th, Frank Beck's Chevrolet showroom for the Maggie Fry Scholarship Breakfast. From 8 to 11 in the showroom. Andy and I will see you out there, because we'll be broadcasting out there that morning. This is a very special event for a very good cause. Please clear your calendars. We hope to see you all out there. And by the way, while we're at it, Bob Flynn wanted me to remind you that Beckathon has been extended. It has been extended. If you're not familiar with that or know what that was, during the month of January, you were to have gotten an extra $1,000 dealer cash on all remaining new 2024 models in stock, or an extra $3,000 dealer cash on all select used vehicles in stock. That's been extended. You get in there and talk to one of the salesmen, get all the info you need on that. And that's a windfall for you, the fact that that event has been extended. So get in there and let them help you experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Chevy drives Southern Michigan. Frank Beck Chevrolet is the #1 Chevrolet dealer in the tri-state area. Thanks. Okay. Now, 4 new members. NFL Hall of Fame has 4 new members. Quarterback Allen, quarterback Eric Allen, defensive end Jared Allen, who played with the Vikings. He had his best years with the Vikings. Eric Allen played with several different teams. But this Eric Allen, by the way, was in his 19th year of eligibility. That's a long time. Anyway, quarterback Eric Allen, edge defensive lineman rusher Jared Allen, wide receiver Sterling Sharp, who had his best years with the Packers, and tight end Antonio Gates. Congratulations to those 4 newest members of the NFL Hall of Fame. They will be inducted, enshrined in Canton in the on July 31st, the last weekend of July, which is when they also have the Hall of Fame game. I think that's on. I think that's on Thursday night, maybe a couple of days before they're enshrined. But of course, that's always the first preseason game of the year. I don't know who's playing in that game this year, but anyway. As far as the Lions are concerned, and we got you caught up on everything else that's going on here. If you haven't heard, Ohio State has extended Ryan Day's contract to run through the 2031 season at $12.5 million a year. If you're a Michigan fan, that has to be good news because he's 1-4 against the Wolverines. He's lost the last 4 years. They won a national championship this past season. They beat everybody except Michigan. Pete Alonso, as I said earlier, has swallowed his pride and taken a 2-year deal with the Mets for much less than what he was looking for. So how'd that work out for him? I think I might have mentioned this on the last broadcast. Baseball America says the Tigers have the second best farm system in baseball right now. I owe an apology to Scott Harris, just like I did to Wink Martindale this past year. I've said a few things, derogatory things about Harris. He has what he's done here in just the past couple of years. He got the team to the playoffs last year. The farm system is the second best in baseball right now. He mentioned trades earlier in his what he said this morning. Possible they're still negotiating to bring in a veteran back. Would he dare dangle Max Clark out there for somebody? I doubt it. Clark is their highest rated prospect right now. Now that Jackson Jobe is, by the way, he was asked about Jackson Jobe today too. And what he said was, well, we all assume he'll be in the starting rotation this year. I'm talking about Jobe now. They're not just going to hand it over to him. He's going to have to earn it in spring training, and I have no doubt that he will. But so he did not come right out this morning and commit to the fact that saying that Jackson Jobe has a spot in that rotation ready for him to step into it. He's not going to have to earn it, apparently. And I have no doubt that he will. By the way, pitchers and catchers report on 5 days from now on Wednesday, the 12th. And the first preseason game is 2 weeks from tomorrow, the 22nd. 22nd, just 15 days away from hearing Dan Dickerson on the radio again. Won't that be a welcome sight? And by the way, we had a sunset tonight. Anytime we do, you notice that the days are getting longer. Didn't really get good and dark until about 6:30 tonight. So, what are we now? Picking up in 2 minutes a day, I think, maybe something like that. I think we are. As you saw in the headline, Dan Campbell. What does Dan Campbell have to do to get a Coach of the Year award? He got beat out by Kevin O'Connell. So here Dan Campbell goes 15-2 this year after going 12-5 last year. 15-2, undefeated on the road, undefeated in the division. Loses out to a guy that he's beaten in the last 5 games. It's been a long time since Kevin O'Connell has defeated Dan Campbell head-to-head. Of course, they were game number 17 this year. Both teams at 14-2 with the division on the line, and the Lions beat him 31-9 this year. To me, that's a great injustice. I don't know what the poor guy has to do to get coach of the year. Not only that, to rub a little more salt in the wounds. Ben Johnson was named the assistant coach of the year. Now, I don't get it. I don't know what the poor guy has to do to get the coach of the year award. But to me, this was a great injustice. Really, really was. I had a couple other things I wanted to point out to you before we get out of here. The NFL has announced, I think I mentioned this before, the Rams will play a home game in Melbourne, Australia in 2026 at the Melbourne Cricket Grounds, better known as MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Grounds. I think that's about a 16-hour flight from LA. I would have thought it was a little longer than that, but Mr. and Mrs. Jared Goff has announced, congratulations to them, they've announced that they are expecting their first child. So that's good to hear. Anything else I wanted to get you caught up on here? Let me take a quick look at this here. Checking my notes, going over my notes. I wanted to mention too that I told you about Kenley Jansen, a reporter saying that there was a good possibility the Tigers could add him to the bullpen. I think that'd be great if they could. Like I said, he had a good year last year. So while he may not be in his prime anymore at the age of 37, Jansen, like I said, had a 3.29 ERA with 27 saves with the Red Sox. He would be a valuable addition to an already talented bullpen. In my opinion, right now, the Tigers might have the best bullpen in baseball and very close to having the best starting rotation. I really think that way, especially if Jackson Jobe can hit the ground running this year. So, before we leave, as always, I've probably gone too long anyway, but I won't see you again until Monday. Put in a good word for a good man who, without his technical knowledge and expertise, I wouldn't be doing this show right now. Tim Lindley, Lendley at Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale at 37 Walton Street, directly across the street from Fat Jack's Automotive, a couple of hundred feet west of Howell. The man to see for all your technical needs, service, sales, parts, whatever. This is the guy you want to see. He's the best technician in our area. We are so blessed to have him among us here. Anything at all, computers new or used, maybe the computer you have now needs a little work done on it. Flat screen TV, mounting, programming setup. Maybe you're changing internet providers, printers, new or used, anything at all. Please get in there and see Tim. He's the nicest man you're ever going to want to meet. And his knowledge and expertise is second to none. That's all I can say about it. 517-610-5372, or better still, as I said, get in there and see Tim. And at 37 Walton Street, downtown Hillsdale. Get in there and see him. When you do, please tell him Mickey and me sent you. Will you please? I've talked enough. I'll talk to you again on Monday. Don't forget tomorrow morning with Andy here locally on WCSR 92.1 FM from 9 to 10 on the Timeout Show. And I will talk to you again on Monday. So until then, again, thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a good rest of your weekend. Please treat each other with respect. Good night, everybody.